Hey guys, this is not going to be a long video. One thing, an event took place in my life when I was young that really had an effect on me as an adult growing up was the Iraq War. And maybe one day I'll do a video, it's going to be a long one, on how I wanted to join the service. It's simple. I wanted to join Special Forces. After my mom died, I wanted to go and join Special Forces, and I wanted to go off and jump out of a helicopter. I was really propagandized by Hollywood. It gets me that they talk about Hollywood being this liberal, commie thing because you got all these war movies. You know what I mean? That I've never really understood it. It's almost getting off subject. I got to work on that. I wanted to join the service. I wanted to go off and kill. And I thought that'd make me a man. I thought that's what being a man was about. I was really fucked up. I realize now that I should have seen a therapist. And people said that then. I didn't really want to listen. I'm kind of glad I was a conservative back then because that was a quick way for me to wake up. Was to learn about how the government does this and that and the other corruption that they've been to Operation Ajax, Operation Mockingbird, Operation Northwoods, the things they've done back in the day, and that's why I said God will let you go through certain things because that's the way He shows you something. You may not wind up that way, but that's like me being with Veronica, my different things I did, mistakes I made, that was a way to show me something. Whereas now I'm not that way now, but it was to show me something. But Alex Jones used to follow him, and he back then was on point. I mean, I've thought about actually looking up some of his old videos and watching them still because, dude, he had Dick Gregory on his show back in the day, talking about 9/11. There's a lot of good stuff on that in the archives, and I go on the website still, and I guess it kind of shocks me how full of hate those people really are. And maybe they were always like that. Maybe it was always just underneath the veneer, and I just ignored it. Because back then, I was like, I had to listen to Alex Jones to know what to think about. And now it's like, oh, I could spend all day at a job looking at nothing but InfoWars, Police One, sites like that, because I know who I am and I know what white supremacy is. It's really about white fragility. They might know more about certain things than I do on certain things here and there, but I know that what they're talking about, what they want, is not feasible. Maybe 20, 30 years ago it was, but the thing is, Trump, I'm not even sure Trump believes he can do some of this stuff he talks about, or the things he talked about when he was first elected in 2016. Excuse me, my fault. This is now 2019. Yeah, some time has passed. But I can look at that stuff now, and there's some good information on there sometimes, but I understand the reality of it is that that's not, it's just desperate white people. That's great white hope. It's all just white pride stuff. That's all it is. You need black people. You need it. You just don't know it. This craziness of, dude. I was reading by Eric Rudolph today, and I often hear these guys on InfoWars, other sites telling me we're going to take our country back and this and that and the other, and they talk about like it's going to be some kind of patriotic Thomas Jefferson, no, Braveheart, something like that movie Braveheart. It's going to be some patriotic, rah-rah, salute the flag type stuff. But if you really read this stuff, survivalist boards and InfoWars, you're looking at Eric Rudolph type people. And he was the bomber at the Olympics in Atlanta back in 96. He killed a bunch of people. He bombed some abortion clinics, and he bombed, I think it was a gay club as well. When I read these things, that's what I think about. There's no honor or courage with that. These are domestic terrorists. Okay? And it's really that simple. These are terrorists. These are people who are walking, talking existential threats to humanity at large. There's no placating them or maybe, no, it's none of that. These are people who are sworn public enemies. And you need to understand that. And that's why I can go on these sites. I can listen to them. You know, I've lost a lot of respect for Alex Jones. Part of me thinks this is a business. And that's what a business does, is you latch on to whatever makes you money. I know that when Trump had office, even if Alex Jones was to go the other way, I know that I'll never support him again. Never buy anything from him again, ever. That'll never happen again. Never. You sold the farm, buddy. You bet the farm on Trump. I hope it's worth it. Hope it was worth it. But anyway, I look back at these, wanting to go to war, and now I believe the military is about genocide. I think it's about letting the brown skinned people kill each other off. That's what it's about. It's about letting us kill each other. It's like the gangs and stuff. It's about us killing each other off for really nothing. That's what I see all this stuff is. So, but we got to go through things. I recognize it. Anyway, but the Downing Street memo came out years ago, and that light's probably kind of bothering you a little bit, ain't it? You had the Downing Street memo come out years ago, and Downing Street memo, it really went into a lot of the facts you already knew about, how the British knew that American intelligence for the war was pretty faulty, and that they pushed ahead anyway. They put, and my point is, they put those people's children, fathers, mothers in danger for no reason, and they knew it. And I said it for a long time. I just wish I could get I wish I could get a bunch of British people together, families that have died, and I wish I could just sit in the room and just show them everything I know. Just give me 10 minutes. Give me 20. Give me a half hour, please. And if you don't like it, you can walk out. 100 people or so. Just I wish I could do that. I really do. Just show. And now it's a lot of people in Great Britain that. I guess kind of why I kind of cater with the European stuff is that a lot of them kind of realized that the Americans made a big honking mistake with the war in Iraq. And, they never forgot what was done, the damage that was done. And where America, it's like a lot of Americans over the last 15 years, it's like we just forgot that we were at war. It seems like it to me. It's almost like, you hear about the budget stuff, you hear about this and the other, but it's like most Americans are like, well, we're just at war. And it's not even like, it's kind of like back in the day when you had them little riots and stuff, the race riots and stuff, and white people were in their areas, so all the burning and stuff, it was going on, but they didn't care about it because it wasn't affecting them. That's almost how I felt a lot of Americans felt about the war in Iraq. And it's like, to me now, it'd be one thing if we had a Democrat and office like Obama again, and he was like, okay, we're going to have less war, and he actually was doing things. But we're looking at going into another war on the basis of a lie, again, in Iran. If not this year, next year, 2020. I have a feeling that nothing's going to happen the next couple months. I could be wrong. But I just have a real feeling that Trump's not going to start anything. But he could, because I heard them saying that most presidents, wartime presidents, don't get impeached. They stay in office, get reelected. I don't know. But I just feel like they're not going to do anything unless something happens outside of our hands. I don't think it's going to happen right within the next 6 months, probably not, next year or something. But Trump, he's not doing that. He's not downplaying. He's not He's escalating military force everywhere. He's threatening everybody. He's isolating America. And I have to wonder about anybody that wants to actually serve in American military at this point, because I don't know, it's like joining a gang. When you see the gang member out here starting trouble, it's kind of like we're in a gang to sell drugs, we're in a gang to protect the community. You just want to go out here and threaten everybody. And some people don't do well with threats. Some folks don't do well with threats. Some people out here don't care. You threaten them or whatever. And then some folks, if they think you're that crazy, then they'll come together and just kill you. That's how it was done back in the day with the gold rush. If you killed somebody out there and their family and people thought that you were a nut or something, they just come together and kill you. What are you going to do when it gets dark and they come for you from 3 different directions in teams of 7 and 8 and 10? What are you going to do? But the British, they really have, from what I've read on Quora and other sites, this is just anecdotal, I guess you'd say. They really feel like, was it Cameron? He really put their soldiers' lives in danger. I need to do some more research, but I know as far as the war, a lot of the British people to this day got a real nasty taste in their mouth about it. And I've said for a long time that to me that's a good thing. I don't think America cares about that. I think of America really like a white supremacist. He doesn't care about how his actions affect people as long as he gets the desired goal. As long as the desired effect is met or we're moving towards it, he doesn't care about, what is that? He doesn't care about like long term, like, okay, people are gonna hate you after that. I ain't know what the fuck that was. That was a spider. I was like, what the fuck? I got good eyes. And my thing about America is, a lot of times I talk, and I think about going back in time, and I talk about how would I look back at myself, 2008, 2009, when that period of time between my mom dying, me getting out of school, and me actually going and getting my license and going out to Utah, all that stuff that happened. I think a lot about what has changed in my life. I used to do a lot of research, making files on New World Order, what I call New World Order. And what I realize now is just global white supremacy. That American imperialism is a hub and it's a hub. It's a spoke. It's in many spokes all over the world, and it's not just America that does that. It's white supremacy. You know, are there people who believe in depopulation and all that they may be? But I realized that it's really just about being a big goddamn bully. And so, in my opinion, America is a belligerent nation. It's as clear as possible. If we go to war in Iran, I won't be surprised, because America is a belligerent nation. It always has been. It always will be. That's why they're so mad about Ocasio and Rashid Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. That's why they're so mad about them, because all they're doing is questioning things. And these crackers know that once you start questioning things and you start showing people, wait a minute, the Federal Reserve, what you telling me the Federal Reserve is a private organization run by Israelis, and they have a control over what the dollar is in America, financial policy in America. And they, once you start getting into all these things and how Israel has control, how we've been in war for Israel, oh man, they're scared of that. I realized I was a libertarian because I was against the war, and I thought that capitalism and conservatism still worked, and I realize now that they can't. It's like them talking about Democracy Now! Earlier, they were talking about how we have to research, we have to keep learning about what criminal law is, what the law is, and the inherent racism in the law. Yeah, it always was racist. It was designed to keep you down. And the fact that we're able to show that that were able to properly enunciate that to the people, it's extraordinary. You know, 2008, you know, we were talking about, I think that's when Ron Paul ran the first time. And I never really got deep into all of his stuff. I've read some stuff since, and there's some things about Ron Paul I don't like. Or I wouldn't have liked then. I know now he's a cracker. He's a cracker from Texas. I mean, what do you expect? But as far as him being against the Iraq War and against all these warmongering actions all over the world and against the drug war, I respect him. I respected him then, and I respect him now. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the point I want to make, you know. But America's a belligerent nation. We haven't changed that much since 03, 02. You know, over 1,000 dead and for nothing. And now they lie and say it's about going after Al-Qaeda, which it may have been. It may have been that after all point. That might have been the truth, but that wasn't what they told us then. See, that's one thing that I do worry about, is that every generation loses something. Like, I've learned the American government is really untrustworthy in every way. In every way. It's trustworthy if you live in America or you're, you know, somebody from a third world country that makes it in here than they are. But if you were born here and you have eyes to see and ears to hear, then America's a belligerent nation. They don't care what they heard. I think with Trump is the loudspeaker of what I just said, because he doesn't care. Even when other people in the government are like, dude, what are you doing? Trump doesn't care. Didn't give a fuck. Didn't give a fuck about Europe or nothing. He's like, shit. You know, we're going to go up here with the Russians, these other white people, and they're going to help us fight against the blacks and the you know, the brown people. That's what it's about. I think that Trump takes white supremacy to the fullest extent. Not that he's going to go out here and say racial things, but the fact that so many of his supporters feel that way, I think that's dangerous. And I think it's really telling about what America is when you hear about Charlottesville and things like that. It really affirms for you that America is a white supremacist country. America is a white supremacist country. See these Nazis marching and stuff? That reaffirms it for me. And it reaffirms for me that these are bloodthirsty, animalistic people. They always were. They always will be. So I wouldn't try, even if I could get a bunch of veterans together, I wouldn't even try to tell them nothing, because in 2019, if you don't know, that Iraq War was based on a lie. The whole Casus Belli to go in was a lie, then I don't really have anything for you. And I'll tell a veteran that to his face. If you don't know that by now, I don't know what to tell you. Go back to watching baseball. Go back to watch your football game. Go back to your beer. That's all I can tell you. You know, you guys are fighting a war for the last 16 years on the basis of a lie. And that's fact, man. And you can come up with all the bullshit you want, but you can't prove, you can't change the fact those soldiers died in vain. They died in vain, man. Children out here are missing their fathers because of this bullshit. And America's ready to ramp up and go to war again. That's how we talk about these things. They talk about, you know, forget about it. So we talk about these things because you haven't learned anything. And you're ready to go to war again for nothing. You know, it almost pisses me off, but then I guess that's kind of why, you know, I'm starting to learn other languages, and I'm interested in this and that. I don't follow a lot of Western culture. I follow a lot of European and overseas culture, because I guess I've kind of had it with America and the people. And there's a lot of people who maybe don't agree with the U.S. government, but I'm way past that. Listen, never said this before, never. But when it comes to the SDS and the Weathermen, I am 110% on board with what they were doing. There's a time when I wouldn't have said that. There's a time when I would have thought it was wrong. But if you got people out here waging a war they know is lost, waging a war that's killing innocent people for no reason, and they know it. And they're too busy trying to be careerists to stand up and do what's right. Their lives don't matter. Yeah. That's like when police departments know a cop is dirty and do nothing about it. Your life doesn't matter. If somebody come to get that cop one day, you deserve to get the bullet too. You know? When you hear about these racist things and black people go back and shoot the place up because they were done racist and then people knew about it, you deserved it. Mm-hmm. You knew about it. You did nothing. You deserved it. I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel happy about people doing those kind of things because I understand that you're really attacking one of the fundamental parts of what America is supposed to be when you do those kind of things. I don't want America to be about that, but you're not innocent. Yeah, you're not. When you know what's right and you don't do it, you're not innocent. Not in any way. So I understand what the SDS did. I understand what Weatherman did. The Black Panthers, the MOVE, all of it. You know, I'm surprised you don't see it out here now. I think people have just gotten used to it. I think with Obama, you just had a lot more droning and special forces, and a part of me is happy about the fact that there were less soldiers getting killed. But I guess a part of me wants somebody to stop time and say, listen, America went the wrong direction. Okay? It's kind of like if you're on a road trip and you're lost, and people are like, hey man, we should have made that left turn. I'm looking for somebody in the car to stop the car and say, look, I was wrong. We got to turn around. It might be a 10-minute turnaround, but we got to turn around. We got to find this turnaround. We got to turn around. I'm sorry. And I guess that's kind of how I felt with Obama and all that. That was my growing up period from 2008, I was 18, to 2016. 18, 19, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was, 26. You elected 8, now it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. He's elected twice. That little 8-year period was really my 20s. And a part of me, and I know America's not. That's why they say Obama kneeled, bowed to all those world leaders. I think that's kind of what that was, kind of like a silent, sorry, But I don't want that. I guess I thought America was something different, and I realized it's not. Not. We're a belligerent, war-mongering country. Our economy is based off of war. We're addicted to oil. And that's just what it is. And we're ruled white supremacy. We're ruled by white supremacy. And that's why we see all these mass shooters right now. You're not going to change America. People talk about how in the Bible, America doesn't exist. They don't speak about America. And I guess I'm an American, but I've kind of recognized that if someone bombs us, we probably deserve it. Over the last 16 years, we probably deserve it, man. The aliens come down here and destroy America, probably deserve it. And as an American, I've come to the point now to where I do my job. I'm not out here, I'm not a protester. I'm not out here doing anything. I'm not hurting people or nothing. But I'm at the point now to where it's like, if something happens, then probably deserve it. And that's a part of living in a warmongering country, is that if something happens, if someone seeks revenge, then I might get hurt. My family might get hurt. But, that's what, and it's kind of like living in Charlotte. You pay all this money, taxes are higher and stuff, but you don't go to Checkers, you don't go to Bobcats, you don't go to Panthers games, you don't go to Knights games, you don't do the party lifestyle shit, and there's all this crime. It's kind of like, what's the point? What's the point of living, in those kind of areas when you really don't have nothing in common with most of those people, and you know it? And that's how I feel about America. And even when things we're hearing Europeans say about how they're not happy about what America's doing. One thing I can say, Europe, going back to what I said earlier, not only the British, but Europe, I think they kind of realize that this has to stop. But maybe they don't realize how it can stop. It's like lying. It's like doing drugs. You have to keep doing it. You can't just do it. You can't just do crack and stop. Don't work like that. You can't just do meth and stop. Don't work like that. You know, do crack and then go to work an hour later. That's not how that works. You know, not how that works. You're taking a path to destruction. Path to destruction. There's a movie, Matthew McConaughey, I can't remember the name, Interstellar, and I don't know if it was big or not. I think that was a really great example of what I think the future of America is. I don't think America is just going to go away. I think that you'll have global warming get worse. And I talk about this, and it sounds bad, and you would say, you live in the South, Joshua. Why would you say these things? Aren't you concerned about how you'll be? I am. But it comes to a point where you realize nothing can be done. It's like dealing with a guy who's drunk. He's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. What can you do? You know? That's why I don't have children. Hello? I just want to focus on getting myself to where I can at least do some things if stuff gets bad, but what can you do? It's like climate change. I'm going to end it on this. You know, I look at Radio Eco, Eco Shock, and climate stuff, climate Nexus, excuse me, on Instagram, and I think I'm on their newsletter as well. And they talk about this IPCC report that came out recently, last year, 2018, Thanksgiving, November 2018, and Trump released that on the slide because I guess a lot of people. I think Trump operates off the idea that most Americans are stupid. And I think that has really benefited him to play to the people who are really stupid and or the racists, which aren't the same. But I'm just talking about this ideology of trying to go back to the 40s and trying to go back to the 50s, the post-World War II time. That's just not realistic in any way. And so that's why he does things like that. Because he's playing to the stupid people, the idiots. You know? And the climate report basically said we have 10 years. We have 10 years where things start to get really bad in this country. And I've said it on Instagram. I've said it on many places before that with Ebola popping up, with these wars that aren't going anywhere, with Trump threatening Iran, threatening North Korea, threatening the Europeans, I just don't see it. I don't see any kind of an effort to make a move forward. You know what I'm saying? It's like me telling somebody, hey man, if you stop smoking today, you won't get lung cancer in 20 years. And they're smoking like 5 cartons. They're smoking a carton a day. And they're like, okay, and they just keep doing it. It's yeah, that's good, but they're not going to change. And they're not even pretending like they're going to change. And that's my feeling with Trump and climate change and all these wars is just, I don't think they care. I'm not saying that they think that climate change isn't real because they're looking at, when you're on the inside, you're seeing stuff that most people can't see. Like when I was telling you about when Sessions came out and was saying that the Justice Department will not be used for political stuff. I didn't know why. Because Trump had asked him to drop charges on 2 of his buddies. I'm sorry. I didn't even know that then. You know, when you're on the inside, you see it all. You see it all a lot sooner than the public does. It's the fact. You see it all. So, I don't feel any kind of optimism towards the future. I don't feel any kind of optimism towards the future in regards to getting a Democrat in and this. It's almost like a part of me wants America to be destroyed. Does that make sense? That's what it is. A part of me is like, we're the bad guys. It's like, there's a movie called Downfall. And see, a lot of it's based, pretty true. And there's a radio guy at the end who's watching everybody kill themselves, and he's like, oh shit, he's watching and shit. That's me. That's me. That's been me over the last decade. That's me. That has been me over the last decade or so. Sitting back, watching what America's doing, watching the warmongering, and just shaking my head like, dude, what the fuck's going on? And these crackers just, oh yeah, we're getting ready for ISIS. No, I'm getting ready for you crackers. You fucking crackers are dangerous. You've always been dangerous. You're more dangerous now than I think before. So, a part of me is like, I'm almost like I live in Europe, except I'm not living in Europe. It's like, let this bitch fall. And that sounds bad, but I have no confidence, no optimism that anything will get better in America. The world maybe, but not in America. Not in America. I think they'll double down with Israel. And I think that things are going to get a lot more violent. I said it before, the Second Amendment stuff, the Second Revolution stuff, I don't think it'll ever be this idea of a bunch of Klansmen. I don't see that coming. But I do see more Eric Rudolph type attacks. People who know how to set IEDs and bombs and stuff like that. I see a lot more of those type of things going on. I didn't know he was still alive. Got him in ADEX. So I wonder what he thinks about. I really do. Honest to God, I would like to find out what Eric Rudolph thinks today in 2019 about these mass shootings. See, my point to people is this. This is the point. This is the point I try to make to people out here when we talk about this stuff. Acts of violence by white supremacists are nothing new. White men massacring large groups of people is American. But Americans out playing baseball. That's just what it is, man. That's American. And so to me, you're not going to mess my head up, tricking me to think that this is some isolated events or something. No. I said, look back at Eric Rudolph, things he was doing back in the day. That's why they have to go backwards. These rednecks, it's like they really can't move into the future. They can't. They really can't. Peace, y'all.